Shalom. Shalom. Hey, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And there's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp or the Houston church. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And once again, as always, we got the beloved Elder Tazapah as well. And the Wadi Bashim Awashah for another opportunity to give a sacrifice, to come bring forth this news. And Lord willing, it do be edifying. Which, as always, a day won't go by without a prophet saying, it's a lot happening, right? Because every day is a lot that's happening, whether it's on mainstream media, behind the scenes, so on and so forth, or whether the Lord doing things in spirit. Time is moving and prophecies are being fulfilled, or leading to be fulfilled. Before we hop into this information, other times, probably you have anything, the floor is yours.
No, you good, brother. I'm good. You got it.
So we'll hop straight into it. It's kind of like an open forum tonight. We just kind of go with the spirit, go with the flow, touch on some things that's been happening lately or that's been in the news, which could lead to greater events taking place. Like the scripture says, be not ignorant of anything small or great. Because again, a lot of people like to pay attention to the big events and they skip over the little, events that lead to major things happening. So we'll hop into a couple of things, Lord willing, to be edifying. And I know like the majority of it will talk about the tariffs that's hitting, that Trump trying to put on different countries and what that could lead to. And ultimately, as we know, a digital system coming and, they trying to, America's coming with that digital ID. So with that, we'll hop straight into it. So this first article we got is from nationalnews.com. And this was put out yesterday, February 26, 2025. Now, this hit on, again, an example of how the times are about to be that we are fastly approaching, to where it's not about to be no freedom of speech. You ain't gonna better say what you want, not in person, not online, especially online. When we see a lot of nations, they're cracking down on, freedom of speech. You can't say what you want and you can't speak against the government. But now it's coming out, the EU, they cracking down, and it's so much so that if you have an American here in America and he posts whatever he want to post on his social media page, if he go to the EU and they find that, he can get arrested for that. He or she can get arrested for that. And we just want to kind of touch on this real quick. We ain't gonna spend long on this article just to show, look, we coming into those times to one the nations go agree on a policy. So it ain't like you're gonna go to America and you could just say and do what you want, and in another nation you can't. Eventually, we coming into a time to where everybody gonna be on the same page, man.
I got a precept.
You got it. Now you
I
got
got one for you real quick so we kick it off, right? This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 21. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare and turn aside the just. Oh, Salakia. Let me read that over. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 21. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. So that's what you're going into. These are times that we living in. All right. Heavy censorship. All right. To the point of incarceration. And that's what's coming. All right. They got these FEMA camps. And with all of the immigration shit going on and the deportations, don't think it's just going to stop with the quote unquote refugees or whoever did the people that's coming over illegally. That's going to extend to everybody, ultimately. But right, we had war. First step in war is to kill communications. So this is where they're moving to. But yeah, you got it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's it. That's it. Kill communication and access to resources.
Right, right.
But I read it just a little bit of it. Read into this EU hate speech, and again, the EU not the only one that's doing it. Remember, certain nations do it quicker than others. Everybody will fall in line. So it says, the American Center for Law and Justice has warned that Americans could face arrest in the UK for social media posts deemed as hate speech. And just that in itself, they telling you we can arrest you for what you put online if we don't agree with it. It
And
says,
that's telling you that that's global governance. That is what a one world order looks like. That's global governance. I do something here, and then I could be arrested somewhere else. That's what people used to do. Well, shit, run to Mexico, commit a crime here and run to Mexico where they could be, have asylum. But yeah, now you're not safe. Nowhere they showed that in the Dark Knight, the second one. How they said you think Batman got borders or something to that effect, because the guy was doing illegal business in China, and he was like, Batman ain't going, he ain't bothered by no borders. So they were showing bits and pieces of this coming, in a lot of the movies.
mm-hmm.
But right, this is what we are, man. But go ahead,
Come. So it says the American Center for Law and Justice has warned that Americans could face arrest in the UK for social media posts deemed as hate speech. The UK's broad and vague hate speech laws now apply to Americans who post content while in the US, threatening their liberty upon entry to the UK. Think about what they're saying. Even if you're not in the UK, and say if you're in California and you posting something against the government, against the NWO, and then you just happen to take a vacation to the UK and people come across your content you posted 2 months ago, you can still get arrested. You can still get arrested. How much more when they really start to crack down, man?
Yeah.
It says, similar to the UK, Europe faces a broader trend of government. See, it's not just the UK, a broader trend of governments criminalizing speech under the guise of combating hate, blasphemy, and misinformation.
That's right.
It says the erosion of free speech in Europe serves as a warning for Americans to remain vigilant and defend the First Amendment, pushing back against censorship in all forms, which we know, according to prophecy, America going to do the same thing. It ain't about what the people want. One is what the Lord want according to his prophecies and what this government about to do. People going to realize they don't have no freedoms. They don't have no rights, rights and a constitution. All that's going to go out the door, man. It says, let's see. I'll read a little bit of this. So it says the ACLJ recent legal memo reveals a disturbing trend. The UK's broad and vague. See, that's the word, vague, broad and vague. So whatever they deem as the wrong thing to put out, the wrong content to put out there, they can say what they want to as far as what kind of criteria or whatever it is. It's vague. They don't have no set standards. Right. What to say, what not to say is a wide brush to where anything can be put under that banner, man. How much more the truth in our videos? And not even think about some of the brothers who might be in the UK. See, this what we coming into, matter of fact, well, I get it, but what we coming into is that, look, the prophets are eventually about to be taken off the street, not by Esau, but by the Lord, man. These things will affect the word going out, and that's what we're saying. Remember, we have churches in the UK. So what about them? But you got some other types of power?
I was holding Amos chapter 8, verse 11.
You got it.
Con, Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, you can speak on to that.
No, that's so that the Lord said he not just gonna bring a famine of food or bread and water, which that's gonna happen too. But he said he gonna bring
Yep.
a famine of hearing the word. This truth going out. Answers. You know, again, the times we coming in, a lot of people gonna have a lot of questions. You know, they ain't gonna
Exactly.
know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that they ain't gonna know what's going on. They gonna want to know what to do next. Why is this happening? You see, why is the government, cracking down on us? And the answers that was freely given from the prophets, the Lord will eventually take these men off the streets. And it's not, man, it's so beautiful, Elder Tazapah, seeing all this play out. I know, especially with you, because you've been doing it, with the apostles, elders. But we see how these prophecies, how could I say it? The specific events in our time that will take place to fulfill the prophecies, because we know it's going to be another famine of the word, right? But now we seeing it how it's going to happen in the modern age, to where they're going to cut the internet. They're going to say a crackdown on free speech, hate speech, so on and so forth, so where it won't be easily accessible for the prophets to post up videos. Eventually,
Right.
it won't be no more Thursday lives. News and prophecies from the elders and so on and so forth. So people go be looking for answers, but the Lord will bring a famine of the word, and that's what we seeing. And again, I know we always bring up that Daniel, how Nebuchadnezzar, not Nebuchadnezzar, I forget who, Darius, if I'm not mistaken, who put Daniel in the lion's den. But remember, they made that law they made a law that nobody could pray to a god for a whole province, for the whole land. But that law was really only made for Daniel. And I know we went into that a couple of times on a Thursday Live, just to show a law could be made for a whole land or a whole country. But deep down, it was pinpointing a specific individual or individuals. And that's what we're seeing now. Esau is coming out with laws, legislation to bring a crackdown on free speech to the world, but specifically, he want to shut the prophets up. He just can't come flat out and say it, though.
Yeah. And a mocker and a scoffer is not going to consider what you were just saying about people going to be looking for answers. All right, because they can still remain stuck in their delusions. Because remember, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, the Lord said he would choose their delusions. And so you got a lot of people under the delusions, various delusions of Babylon, and which is where they find comfort. So now, at the reading of the scriptures, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And they can hear that and fan the hand, because they can still go back to their delusion. But when reality sets in, and like I said, this is what a scoffer and a mocker is not going to consider. When reality sets in, and the Most High robs you of those delusions that you've been hiding in. This you're gonna see people bug out on a different scale out here. You know what I'm saying? Because Babylon, it coddles. It coddles everybody. You got to be PC with how you say things and how you talk about stuff. So a lot of people are just coddled and soft and have no idea about the reality, the nature of life itself. And life is going through a purge. All right, the earth is going through a purge. Everything, and we know it as judgment. But right, the earth has to be cleansed. We have to be cleansed. A cleansing must take place. The government of the world needs to be cleansed. It needs to be removed and replaced. All right, we're at critical mass with wickedness. That's what we're at critical mass. If Esau do one more thing, I'm just talking shit, but it really is, when the scriptures say his sins have reached up to heaven, right? That's critical mass. Meaning, yeah, the Lord did, well, what you mean 1,000 years? This devil gonna do 1,000 more years? It's nothing else for him to do. We got to reset. I mean, somebody that say that ain't tuned into the spirit. It might be, yeah, it's a process, and that process could take, you know, from a month to 1,000 years, however he worded it. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But how could you say that being tuned in to the Holy Spirit?
Right.
How could you say that? And I'm seeing, you know, through the spirit, yeah, things are, everything is a new cycle. We're starting a new cycle. All right. Well, we had brought out last week, but go ahead. I don't want to stop you. We went into no, that wasn't last week, but Second Ezra 6 and 8 on down. You know, it's about to be a changing of the guard. You should, if you tuned into the Holy Spirit, you should feel that, because you'd be tuned into prophecy. When we don't read Habakkuk for nothing. When the scriptures say they shall speak, you should be hearing the Lord whisper, I'm on the way. I'm on,
Right.
I'm on. You should be hearing that. Every prophecy come to pass, it should be a whisper in your ear, I'm almost there. But yeah, when you tuned into the world, you're going to hear, you know, that's why the scriptures say they put far away the evil day. That's what you do when you tuned into the world's vibration. But it's a weak vibration, you know? But go ahead, brother. That's a whole nother lesson for another time. Go ahead. I didn't want to, you know, switch up.
It's spot on, because again, we in those times though, and that's why it's important. And see, I think we said this at class or Tuesday camp at the Times of Pop, but us who have been following the apostles, the bishops, the elders, you know, the order that came even from the 90s with the great men, you know, that Elder Albert Bivens and so on and so forth. We gon' as the time get closer to the end, we gonna appreciate our teachers more and more.
Right. I remember you saying that.
We gonna appreciate the apostles, the elders, bishops, the men they came under the high priest Ariah, came out, the serious spirit they was in, wasn't playing about the doctrine, prophecies, pushing the severity and the fear of the Lord. Man, we gonna appreciate that so much. The closer it gets to the end, because a lot of people, like you said, at times have been, you know, their life just been sugar-coated to them, and then coming into the
sugar-coated
truth.
life. Yep. Go ahead.
Especially in America, and then coming into the truth, you have Israelites who been sugar-coated their whole life, you know, the victim mentality, and now they come into the camp and all they've been taught is get married and we gonna rule, we gonna have slaves, and you just better, which that's good, but they never was told about the bitter though, and that's the point the point in time that we at. The bitter death is coming. The Lord about to overwhelm the world with his power, man, and I don't think people get what that is, what that's like. But I just want to get this real quick at a time to back you up, because you said something. You said wickedness is at his point. We at the point it can't go on. Real quick, the Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5 in the GNT. It says, the Lord says, or Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai says, I am going to bring terrible disasters on the world. War, famine, and for the context of what we just talked about, so like you talked about the article, it's two different famines that's coming.
Yep.
A famine of food and drink, and a famine of hearing the word of the Lord. If a brother in the chat want to put that in 2 Ezra 5, how it says, then shall wit hide itself, and once the Lord take away his word, it says many people gonna look for it, and when they won't be able to find it, it says then unrighteousness, which is lawlessness, it says unrighteousness will increase, and incontinency will increase as well, which is a lack of self-control. So when we bring out little things like this through the spirit, is a crackdown on hate speech. That's not just for your average citizen. It's really gonna hit those who want to find out the answers on what's about to happen in the world. And when the prophets are taking off the airways, the streets, it won't be no more answers. Well, the real answers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let me finish this. It says, The Lord says, I am going to bring terrible disasters on the world, war, famine, death, and destruction. This is the reason. Because wickedness has spread everywhere and evil has reached its limit.
The limit. Damn.
You got it, Zaquan, you got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. No, I didn't have nothing. That's right on point. You know. Yep.
But with that, I know it had a little bit more in this article. For example, like it says right here in the Salaki, I didn't put it in the description box yet, but it says like right here, and we can move on. The UK officials have made their intentions clear. Metropolitan Police Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley declared, check this out, we will throw the full force of the law at people. They ain't playing. It says, I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up action online. And I know you touch on this word a lot, Elder Tazapah. I want to get it real quick. I seen it earlier. That word draconian is in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. But that's the spirit they coming in.
Yep. Yep.
Here it is. And we can move on. It says, this is not a dystopian fiction, but a stark reality. Right. That's what's happening. That's what's about to come. A stark reality. As the American Center for Law and Justice has sounded the alarms about the UK's draconian hate speech laws. So that's the spirit these governments about to come in, draconian type energy.
Right.
Which the smallest thing you do, it could be a death penalty, man.
Yep. And to back you up, yeah, to back up that point you made, shit, you still gonna find hate speech on the net, but like you read, it's ambiguously worded so that they can pick and choose who they want. So when you made the point about them making laws really for Israel, you know, or well, really not the small hats, but for the Israelites, you know, you still gonna there's still gonna be plenty of hate speech on the internet. But what you won't have is us or nobody talking about the small hats. You know, and then whatever else they want to pick and choose about, that's what that's about. But yeah, you got it, you absolutely right.
And you know what, other times apart, what you just said, it make perfect sense because when we say like the internet gonna go out, and granted, it might the whole internet, everything might be wiped out with an EMP attack when everything go black, right? But even like you said, other times apart, it could be gradualism to that. As far as eventually, and we're gonna touch on some of it. I think we got some of those articles. If not, it was in a rotation, but I don't think they made the final cut. But they cracking down on the social media and everything. You have to now have a digital ID, or they want to make it like that. You have to have a digital ID for you to get on the internet now. So right. the point is to build on what Elder Tazapah just said. You know how I say, like in the days of Lot, it's still how it was in the days of Noah. I mean, they was gonna be eating and drinking and you know, partying and giving in a marriage, but then a flood came. You know, when we talk about a dystopian society, people think like just everything will be done. No, it's still gonna be those things happening, you know, but you're gonna have the CHIP to get by. So just saying all that to say this, it still may be an internet before the full blackout, but you just gonna have videos like IUIC on there, right? You may just have videos like redacted on there. They telling you some things, but they're not giving you the biblical perspective of it and let you know what's actually happening according to the times that we living in. So we may even see that before a full wipe out of the internet, that the apostles video is gone, GMS video is gone, Men of Valor video is gone, men who really bringing the truth like that. They're talking about the digital system, the CHIP, Esau. Those videos gonna be going first.
And see, we don't know exactly. That's what keep us on the edge of our seats. You know, the prophets, the men of the Lord, they on the edge of their seats every day. You know, because we don't know exactly how it's going to play out. You know, but if you want to get a good sense of kind of the direction where this is going, just watch all of the Black Mirror. Watch all the I don't know how many seasons it is, but if you watch Black Mirror, that's what that is. They're showing you what's coming. So they had this one episode where they had to work for credits, to watch TV and shit. I think to watch TV for everything to eat and stuff, they had to run on this treadmill or on the bike, I think, to get credits. And they had little TV shows and shit that they, a little weird ass internet, but it was severely limited. It
This
was
episode
like
right here is a Quan for you. It's
good
called
old boy.
15 million
That's it.
merits.
Yeah, that's it.
And look, he got his own digital person. Salak, you got it, Salaki.
Right. Just like that. That's what they right. And then it'll come to the point to where it's the Matrix. You'll just be in a goddamn coffin somewhere thinking you living. But yeah, that's exactly what's the name of that episode at?
Oh, it's called 15 million merits.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm let me see. I don't know if it got a trailer to it. I'll throw it up in there for the. And also we're gonna this a trailer to it. But check this out. It's going into what the Elder Tazapah is saying. This the world that Esau want to bring. Granted, it won't fully be fulfilled, but this is his idea of what's. This is his plans on what's to come.
That's it. That's his vision for the future.
Yeah, he wants you with a Sims character.
In the box. He's in the box, literally.
And this another one. So like I'm gonna post another clip. Now this is another Black Mirror movie, and this on Netflix. All seasons on Netflix. This one on season 3, and this just to give brothers, Akim Akwath a glimpse on what Esau got planned. Now the one Elder Tazapah just talked about is called 15 million merits, but this one is called Nosedive. And as we go on in the lesson, we'll play a little video touching on how this digital ID or the social credit score. That's going to be exactly what this episode of Nosedive was, to where whatever you did in society, you was judged and ranked, right? Ranked off your performance in everyday life. And if you did bad and you went off, you was cut off from freedoms. You was cut off from perks. But if you did good, they gave you a little extra money, on your stimulus check or whatever. That's exactly what's about to come. You got it, Tazapah.
Which is already where? Shit. In the model city, that's right. They already doing it in the model city, China. But yeah, you got it, brother. And I ain't seen that one. I'm gonna check that one out. I've only seen a few episodes, but yeah, I was like, yeah, this is where they want to take things. You could tell. He shows you, he had to put the truth out there, and a lot of times he'll use the different methods of art form, what they call art, like songs, movies, shows, plays, cartoons. They like the cartoons, because they can make light of shit, and then you laugh about it and not take it serious, but they really giving you the truth. So we know that's how they do things. So yeah, you got it, Doc.
So we can move on. Again, it's an open forum, so we kind of just float in the spirit. Now, another thing and two, Baba Kashah, go watch those clips. I just put the trailers up in there, but that's a glimpse on what's coming. Now we're gonna move on to the next portion of the lesson, which I'm sure brothers, out there, Akwath out there, been hearing about these tariffs that Trump is planning on putting on certain countries. And not just any country, but it's a lot of America's allies. And even looking at this, a lot of people will say, well, why would he do this? Why is he doing this? And some may say, well, he's trying to help the American economy, or he's trying to, but seeing how Trump came in, full head of steam, and he ain't even showing mercy to his allies now, that shed more light on the prophecies, how Babylon the Great allies will eventually be mad at them, feel a certain type of way about Esau and Babylon, and go turn against them. So these are preliminary events that's going to lead to Esau's or America allies switching up on them, man. Small stuff like this. on top of what's been going on in Israel. Everybody, all the EU and NATO nations, they don't agree with how America been helping Israel. They don't agree with that. So put tariffs on top of war and death and genocide. People gonna start turning from America.
In the situation in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, what's this guy name? And he was locked up. And I believe, when Trump got elected, he got him out. What's this guy name? But he was saying that the Ukraine deal that Trump got, what he said, he want the rare earth minerals and stuff. Basically, this dude was like, it's not even worth it. The deal is not worth it, And so, but the war is gonna continue. And that was the whole thing. That's Trump saving face. Because he said if he got elected, he would end the Ukraine war like that. He said he would end it. And it's still going on. So to save face, he said, well, for us supporting you in the war, you got to give us some, rare earth minerals.
Right.
I think it's O'Bannon. O'Bannon was like, he said, that money ain't even worth it. Because it's probably hard to get to. It ain't no telling, but Trump did that deal to save face because, again, he reneged. So he got it for his voter base, try to give them something. So, but that's pissing off Ukraine, the people in Ukraine. They was hoping that Trump would come in and do what he said and end the war. Zelensky mad because they didn't cut off his funding, and I think that they're giving them weapons, but he's not getting that money anymore. Of course, Doge and all of that. So the Ukrainians, as well as Zelensky, pissed off. Russia is cool right now, the U.S. and Russia, but I think that's about it. China, they'll do with this tariff shit. They're not in the best, standings, or the U.S. is not in the best standings with them. But yeah, brother, you got it. Go ahead.
Now that's it. That's it. So we'll hop into the next segment, and with the rest, we'll kind of begin to wind it down from here because this next information shouldn't be that long. But we'll kind of go into these tariffs and what it mean. Not in detail, but like what it could lead to, what's going on, right? So I just got a quick AI overview up, and it says what is a tariff, right? So AI overview says a tariff is a tax on imported goods and services. It says tariffs are a form of trade barrier that governments use to protect domestic industries and to retaliate against other countries. So it says, how do tariffs work? The importing company pays the tariff to the government. Check this out. And tariffs are usually a percentage of the product's value. The cost of the tariff is passed on the consumer. America is a consumer country.
Right.
So guess who ultimately go feel the hit? You got it?
Yep. You go ahead. Yeah, we about to say the same thing.
God, no, you can speak on it if you want. You got it.
Go ahead. No, you good.
God, so guess who ultimately go pay the price for this? And you know what, Elder Todd? Because Americans so they just stupid, and or should I say sodish to put it more PG and respectful, right? Americans are very sodish. And when they hear stuff like Trump putting tariffs on China, they're like, yeah, America first. Trump put tariffs on Canada. Yeah, see Trump coming in, he ain't playing. Right? Trump putting tariffs on Mexico. Yeah. Drill, baby, drill. But you you as an American, that's gonna affect you. That's gonna make your life a little harder. Prices about to go up for you. China ain't about to, I'm sure they could be affected here and there, but you about to be affected. You already behind on payments.
And Trump got a point. I don't know if he's genuine about that point, but it's a valid point. And he was saying, you know, through these tariffs, if these companies don't like it, then they can move their business to the back to the US or to the US. So in that light, it's genius. But again, I don't know if he's genuine in saying that. But tariffs work when you have industry. If you, so in other words, like the video we watched, if I'm making cars in the US, you making cars in China, then you could just bring your cars in here for free. Now you competing with me. But if they place that tariff, you know, on your car, now your car is 25 grand. I'm selling mine for 20. You know, it promotes business within. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what a tariff is supposed to do, promote you shopping at home, spending your dollars at home, you know, as opposed to the higher price import model, which is like everything else. You pay more for import beer, you pay more for imports because of the tariffs. But China was allowed, that's how they became the powerhouse that they are, was allowed to just bring in their stuff, duty, tax, and tariff free. And they came up because, well, you might have seen some of the old videos and stuff, but you know, I'm old enough to remember in the 70s, yeah, as recent as the 70s, they used to get around on bikes. In China, they would ride by, and the people had, you know, the little wheelbarrow, and the people sit in the back, and they would run with the wheelbarrow. They was like, I don't want to say primitive, but basic. But it worked. I'm not saying that either in an insulting manner, but it worked. And they got around, you know, they had automobiles, but they wasn't everywhere. People walked and rode bikes. And now, you know, they the leader in technology over the US. Well, that's how. It's through the tariffs. Well, the fact that they was allowed to bring their goods in without tariffs. And of course, you look at anything around you right now, it's made in China. But yeah, that was the point. I got a scripture, and then you got it. And this is I'm in all right, this is Psalm 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You know, so they'll speak saying one thing, like you were saying, and Jake be off to the races, you know, thinking they understand what this man is saying. But if you dig deeper, he's drawing swords to take you to war. You know, but yeah, that was it.
God, now that's it. And we'll play these videos, and I just read this one. It says, "In tariffs increase the price of goods, and also it reduce. So as the prices go up, it says, and also reduce the quantity of goods and services available for consumers. So it could bring to a lack of product and higher prices." I'll play this quick little video. Make sure the sound good. And Shalom Tala Akim Akwa through tuning in. Yabashima Shabakatham.
The president's barrage of tariffs against Canada.
It says tariffs. What is tariffs? What are they, and what happens next?
Mexico and China could have a significant impact on global trade. By imposing a tariff, a country is, in effect, putting a tax on the goods imported from another country. So, if goods worth $100,000 are imported, subject to a 25% tariff, there would be a $25,000 charge. Importers are responsible for paying these levies when their shipments arrive and are likely to pass the cost on to consumers in the form of higher prices, even though Donald Trump campaigned strongly on Joe Biden's record on inflation. Now, another fallout of tariffs is a potential cycle of retaliation or a trade war, with a sanctioned country deciding to hit back with tariffs of its own. Supply chains could also be disrupted, especially if an industry is heavily integrated across different nations. And economists say this could lead to prices going up as it adds to inflation. Now, in the case of Trump's tariffs, one economic research company thinks these measures could trigger a rebound in consumer price inflation.
Like you said before the lesson of Tazapar, it's not when the tariffs, when the prices go up, that's not inflation. But like the dude just said, it adds to inflation. You know, with these prices going up, like eggs going up, people say, man, it's inflation. No, it's not an inflation. It's not inflation because it wouldn't be just eggs. It would be everything.
Yep.
You know, I'll play just a couple more seconds.
You got it.
Later this year of between 3 and 4%, making it much harder for the US Federal Reserve to lower interest rates.
Right. So we'll move on. You know, I just highlight this and we'll let the dude talk on the video about these. I'm gonna kind of sweep through these quick other times possible. Just let me know if you have anything.
Well, just for the record, inflation is caused by printing dollars above or beyond the GDP, all right, which devalues the current dollars in circulation. Every dollar you print beyond GDP, gross domestic product of that particular country, in this case, the US, if they print more money beyond the actual substance that they have, it devalues that substance or those dollars. So that's the only way you cause inflation is by printing money. Taxes just make prices go up, but that's technically not inflation. So that was it. You got it, Doc.
That's it. So I read a little bit into this one. It says, this from End Time Headlines came out yesterday. It says Trump warns Mexico, Canada that tariffs will start March 4th, plus additional 10% on China. It says President Donald Trump has announced the implementation of new tariffs, because remember he put it off for like a month with China and Canada now, but now it's going into play March 4th. So it was put off for February, the shortest month, right? Now it's about to happen in March. So it says President Donald Trump has announced the implementation of new tariffs targeting imports from Mexico, Canada, and China, which that's all the three places, some of the top 3 places that America get its goods from: Mexico, Canada, and China. And you know what, other times you know the work that I do, you know, like, you know, with the work that I do in sales, but our 3 main places that we get imports from is Mexico and China. And you know, I deal with like technology, lights and all that, right? But they already been giving us a heads up to tell our distributors, look, some products may not be in at the time we said, some may be delayed, prices about to go up. They already saying it. But not just what I do, but think about everything in America. The majority of what you see is from Mexico, Canada, and China. So a lot of stuff go up. You got it.
We deal with China and India at my job. Yeah. That was it.
So I move on. And this one, it says, which hitting on you again, Trump going against his allies or sparking his allies to hate America. So this was put out today from National News, 2/27/25. It says Trump declares war on EU trade, the European Union, which is a part of the beast. It says imposes a 25% tariff on all, and that's a major word right there, all imports.
I'm glad you brought that out, Colin. Because, yeah, even the EU, I just didn't have the receipts. But as you see, yeah, the EU is upset right now with Trump. Trump approval rating is down. Apostle Tahar is right. You know, his approval rating has dropped because shit. Yeah, he moving. He declared himself the king and moving like a dictator. But yeah, if you see what I see, you know, you know he's just a figurehead. But yeah, brother, It's getting real out here, bro.
Mm-hmm. And you know, this
You
this
got
the behind this the behind the scenes stuff. You know, like especially a lot of niggas out there, Mexicans and Hispanics, they gonna wait when the prices go up when it's in their face. But that's the beauty of the Lord giving us His truth ahead of time. We seeing the build up to it, man. Real quick, well, I ain't gonna read into this one, but again, a lot of the EU, like the other just said, they got a problem with that, which is American allies. So we'll play this quick video and let them speak on it. Matter of fact, I'll play this one that says from Trump himself going into the decision was made about the EU tariffs, and we'll play this one next.
The decision on what level you would seek on tariffs in the European Union.
And you see this video right here, Advertiser Pie says the EU responded to Trump tariffs and said, look, bro, we ain't out to screw nobody. So they feeling like they're being screwed, you know, in Esau's terminology. They feel like they're being screwed by America. They don't like that.
uh-huh.
Have you made a decision on what level you would seek on tariffs in the European Union?
We have made a decision. We'll be announcing it very soon, and it'll be 25%, generally speaking, and that'll be on cars and all of the things. And European Union is a different case than Canada, different kind of case. They've really taken advantage of us in a different way. They don't accept our cars. They don't accept essentially our farm products. They use all sorts of reasons why not. And we accept everything of them. And we have about a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. Now, I love the countries of Europe. I guess I'm from there at some point a long time ago, right? But indirectly, pretty directly too, I guess. But I love the countries of Europe. I love all countries, frankly, all different. But European Union's it was formed in order to screw the United States. I mean, look, let's be honest. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's
what the EU response was, bro. We ain't out to screw nobody. So you see they divided, which that shed light on Daniel the 2nd chapter. You see Daniel the 2nd chapter when it says they won't agree with one another.
Yeah, it is.
If you don't mind, I'll get it real quick.
Yeah, Con, while you get that, I'll bring out Obadiah, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So this is what, Trump and the U.S. are alienating all of their allies, and they feeling some type of way right now. And ultimately, they're going to get a piece of this, this whore, Babylon, as well. But we see it building up. This is the buildup right here. You got it out.
Can I read what you just read in the NLT? This Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 7 in the NLT, talking to Esau by way of America. It says, all your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you and you won't even know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we'll be seeing. And that's going to be because of America's actions. But just to shed light on, this is biblical prophecy that America and its allies are not in agreement. And it's amazing that the Lord put Trump in office because he's going to force that issue. I'm going to read this real quick, going into Daniel the 2nd chapter. And we can play the last couple of videos. We got like 2 more. But in Daniel the 2nd chapter, now this is when Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of a statue. And the statue represented all the heathen empires that was going to rule, major empires that was going to rule, starting with the Assyrio-Babylonian Empire, mainly Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar, the head of gold. Then next it was the Medo-Persian Empire, the chest and the arms of silver. Then next it was the stomach and the thighs of brass, which is the Greeks. And then next you had the legs, which was legs of iron, which that was just 2,000 years ago. So where could we be on the statue? We clearly in the feet and the toes. Now, the feet and the toes consist mainly of America, which is that whore, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU, the European Union, which makes up the beast. and America rides on top of it. Now, when we go into this, it's going to paint a picture and show that in the time we in the feet and toes, these allies, right, the beasts won't agree with each other. They won't be on the same page, and we seeing the gradualism of that. Let me read it real quick. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse, I'm going to get straight to the point. In verse 41, it says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, so it's going to say it, and part of iron, and the kingdom shall be divided. And that's what we see, in the kingdom is divided. It says, but there shall be in it the strength of the iron, because it was a revised Roman Empire. That same strength came back through America. It says, and for as much thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And we seen that with Britain. Yep. When Britain exited the EU, that's what they call Brexit. When Britain exited the EU, what was the reason? It was tired of assisting poorer countries, poorer nations who was a part of the same union. They got tired of putting it all and not getting enough back. Just like Trump complaining, we giving y'all everything, we ain't getting enough back. So you got partly strong and partly broken. And it says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Right? So I just wanted to get that to line back up what Elder Tazapah got to show in these times, this is what happening. America and its allies are not getting along because it's going to lead to biblical prophecy being fulfilled. American allies will turn on them and help destroy them by way of shooting missiles. You see?
That's it. That's right.
You have anything, Elder Tazapah?
No, you got it.
Okay, I'll play this quick video. I ain't gonna play the whole video. And again, all these articles and the videos that we're going into is already in the description box. I just put them up in there. So I'm gonna skip it. So I'm gonna play it from the beginning, and then I'm gonna skip it. So this was put out 2 days ago. It says it's not law. Tariffs hit America in 4 days, and it's gonna affect housing, food, housing, and auto.
March 1st, everything changes in America. President Donald Trump just announced tariffs on both Canada and Mexico that will go into effect next week.
The tariffs are going forward on time, on schedule. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen.
This is a import-heavy economy. Most of what we consume comes in from Southeast Asia and China.
Mexican and Canadian imports will face 25% tariffs, and goods from China will face a 10% tariff.
And if you think this is just political and it will not affect you, just wait, because you're about to feel it everywhere.
Walmart's imports from China rose 33% from 2023 to 2024. Columbia Sportswear imports went up 50% during the same time.
At the grocery store, at the gas pump, when you try to buy a car.
Thanks to the new tariffs introduced by Trump, the average American household could lose over $1,000 per year, according to the latest estimates from Budget Lab at Yale.
Any kind of produce coming from Mexico, and a lot of our imports come from Mexico in terms of grocery items, those would cost more money. The company that's then going to send it to a grocery store or to a car dealership. So that cost is passed on to consumers.
When you realize,
Elder Tazapah, what's so cold that the timing of this is that people already are struggling. Everybody already at their wits' end. Like it's man, I'm talking about
design.
But man, it's people who making six figures and they crying, like they struggling. I got people who are working at my job who've been doing this, for 15, 20 years. They bonuses, A1, they got the best cars in the parking lot. They crying. It's funny to us, but man, people are struggling. And now prices about to go up. What you think about? That's why in 2 Esdras 15 it says that people gonna revolt because of hard times.
Exactly. Hey, Gerald Salente, I got it quoted. When people lose everything, or when people have nothing else to lose, they lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
realize that owning a home is slipping further out of reach. Because when cost of importing goods goes up, so do your bills. The average American household is already struggling. People are maxing out their credit cards. Delinquency rates are skyrocketing.
Alarming new numbers that show rising default rates on credit card loans, now at the highest level since just after the 2008 financial crisis.
More young adults are failing to pay off their credit cards. New York Fed shows the delinquency rate was more than 8%.
And inflation is quietly creeping back up. And now a new tax is about to hit everything that we buy. So the real question...
Man, it's a lot, Ghetto Talks. I ain't gonna stop in the moment, just play it, but Lord willing. But think about what they saying, and not just you. I know you understand, but for those who listen, think about what they saying, right? Everybody already don't have money, and a lot of Americans are being forced to use credit cards.
Right.
The thing is that now those credit cards for a lot of people are maxed out. It's maxed out, and they don't have the money to pay off the credit card, neither would they need to pay for. The thing is, how long could this go on is the question. It can't. Some have to happen. I hope people out there understand that some gotta happen. People just ain't gonna struggle forever and then get another credit card. And then what they said is that with all this happening, interest rates gonna shoot out the roof. So even if you try to get a loan, you're gonna still be asked out.
Yeah, interest rate. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's a financial storm coming because of the Feds been artificially manipulating the rates. You know, the rate of the dollar. But yeah, so when the correction comes, all right, the financial correction, you own an apartment? It's gonna be tremendous, you know, in its impact. But yeah, go ahead, brother. I'm gonna speak on Doge for, you know, just a minute.
Okay, Con, this is the last video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna skip up and then we can kind of you can bring out whatever, because I know the next video we got is dealing with Trump and Doge and them too, So I'm gonna skip it up and I'll play a little bit. But for those who out there who want to listen to the rest of this video, he got some great information in this video. So check it out. It's in the chat. Check it out. It's in the chat. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw y'all a little alley hoop real quick. I'm gonna put it again. It's not in the chat, but it's in the description box. But now it's in the chat. Check that out, just to show what could be coming to America. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and then we can move on.
All these different household items, you can just imagine what this will mean for insurance premiums. This is not just going to be insurance; it's going to be prices go up, and they're going to continue to go up. Insurance for homes, it's going to get more expensive for either fully paid off or very, very under leveraged, to where you have a lot of equity, you have an insurance bill you can afford, and if prices go up 10, 15, 20, 30, 40%, you can absorb it. You want to control cost. That's what I believe is very, very important next year or two. And I also believe that we're going to see these large corporations, as consumers pull back heavily on spending, have no choice but to automate. I mean, with Amazon, all these big corporations.
And that's another thing he said in it. That's why I wanted to play it. It's not just that times are getting hard. What he said in his video, and y'all gonna have to watch it because we're gonna move on. But he said that now that a lot of people are losing jobs and jobs being taken away from the federal government workers, prices on goods about to go up. People already maxed out on their credit cards. His thing was, now the government, the reason they're doing it is because they're going digital. They're going digital. So now they're going to cause people to buy in, which is going to take us to the next segment. Esau, the next step, he coming with a digital ID. So he have a system, Doge and Trump, or should I say Trump, and Elon Musk and Trump and Doge, because Elon Musk, he David Ruffin of the group. Elon Musk, David Ruffin,
That's old Eddie Kane.
Eddie Kane. So hey, Elon Musk, he David Ruffin, Eddie Kane. But the thing is, what the dude said is that they taking away which we spoke in the last week, but they taking away the old government and they gotta go digital. But seeing a digital system is being surrounded, being prepared around the people, the next step is we already taking care of the infrastructure. Now let's work on the people. So let's gradually get them into this digital system. Let's start with a digital ID. Then next we're going to do a digital driver's license, right? Then digital this and digital that. And all it needs is one event to make everything go digital. But you got whatever you had at the Taza Pop.
No, what you just said, more Hegelian dialectic, you got this issue that they created, all right? A messed up financial system, people maxed out in debt, and now, jobs being taken away. So what's the solution? That's what Doge has been prepping you for. They gonna wait till enough people cry out. They done created the problem. They gonna wait till enough of you cry for a solution. Well, really, they ain't got time to wait. They just gonna come with it. They gonna give the people a little time, then they gonna come with it. You might see it toward the fall, But yeah, that ID, you probably see that here real soon. They really pushing that. Yeah, I'm still looking for that to be probably around summertime, But we'll have to see. I don't know. It's just me speaking as a man. You got it out.
That's what it's looking like, Lord willing, man. But we got one video left, or two videos of it. The time say the same. The Lord said the same. But we're gonna play a little bit of this. Now, this is from Ones That Can See, and throw water to the brother Alawab. He sent me this a couple of days ago. I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. The brother sent this to me, and it's some good information. Now, it's from Ones That Can See, came out 2 days ago. It says, warning, Trump's next cost-cutting move, and cost-cutting is in parentheses. Why? Because Americans think that Trump and Elon and Trump are coming against, the Democratic Party and taking away, the things that Biden and his cabinet implemented as far as, rainbow flag events or whatever it may be. So that's what Americans, they so for, like, yeah, get rid of the old Democratic government, right? What he doing is, as he getting rid of that, the Americans are okay with it because they think, well, he getting rid of what Biden did. But the thing is, he's removing what the government already have in place to bring forth a to replace it with, I don't know if it's a word, digitization.
Right. Yeah.
That's what we seeing. And people don't know that, but they gonna go for this American first thing, like, yeah, let's do it. You being put into a box. You about to be cornered. But let's play this quick vid.
The UN finances initiatives related to misinformation management or supports government funding and third-party development of censorship tools and technologies, correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that U.S. taxpayer dollars have been used by the UN to develop and implement an AI-assisted fact-checking tool to label speech as misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, toxic or hate speech, correct?
Yes, sir. Very disturbing.
In fact, in 2021, the U.S. gave the UN development program $190 million in taxpayer dollars. And iVerify, what they've developed, has been tested in 5 countries: Kenya, Honduras, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Zambia. And it's intended to expand to more countries. Does that concern you?
Extremely.
UN has also partnered with other players in the censorship industrial complex, including CrowdTangle, a Facebook Meta-connected fact-checking tool. Meaden got $250,000 from the National Science Foundation for identifying and countering misinformation on closed messaging platforms. An international fact-checking network, IFCN, a grant and fellowship-making organization to help fact-checkers, solution providers, and other eligible organizations launch new and innovative fact-checking programs and initiatives. Do you see iVerify as part of a larger global trend toward centralized control over information?
Yeah, and we didn't have a chance to get to it, but USAID has been pushing digital IDs that would tie people's bank accounts to their social media profiles. I mean, it's out of Black Mirror.
Boom. What you just said on the top of the pie is out of Black Mirror. And I don't know if you even seen this yet.
Yeah, I did see it.
God.
Yeah, I saw it.
Let's rewind it. That's what digital ID is going to do. They're going to connect every part of your life to one system. Healthcare will be on one digital system.
Who else? You know who else talking about that?
Who that?
I'll give you a hint in the medical field. No. Ellison.
Oh, Yep. Larry Ellison.
Yeah, he talking about the exact same thing, but with medical info. So, right, the MOTB it's here.
just to back up Elder Taza this came out last week, right? 10 days ago, 2/17. It says the rise from Natural News, the rise of digital authoritarianism. Larry Ellison wants everyone's data and DNA plugged into AI data centers to guide our behaviors. That's perfect. You said that because this
He's using the guise of medicine, but that's what they want. That's the perfect article, the headline you pulled up. Yeah, go ahead.
I put that in the chat for brothers if y'all want to check that out, because we ain't gonna touch on it. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's play this video again.
Or centralized control over information.
Yeah, and we didn't have a chance to get to it, but USAID has been pushing digital IDs that would tie people's bank accounts to their social media profiles. I mean, it's out of Black Mirror. I mean, the idea would be that they'd be able to police and potentially debank you for something that you said online. It's extremely disturbing, and I was just kind of shaking my head because after 2 years of this, we just keep discovering more censorship initiatives hidden away in different agencies, the UN, USAID. I mean, it's madness.
It's terrifying. You agree. Programs like E-Verify and the one I-Verify, the one you just mentioned as well, could be weaponized by authoritarian governments to silence dissent. And you've seen
by our government
this as well. And well, of course, by our government as well. And
we've got ones that can see. Welcome everybody to today's show.
I was looking for this article that he got screenshotted right here. I didn't find it though. It was like right before that I didn't find it. But as you see, it says advocacy group calls on Trump administration to speed up digital identities. And it's not just a group. The point is, if you in the know, all nations are doing it. It's not that they asking Trump. No, you have to do it.
What you just heard.
You got some advertising part?
No, I was just saying, yep.
Spoken about in Congress is actually what the ultimate plan is. I'm a little bit surprised that they even brought attention to it, but I guess while they're doing all of this quote unquote exposing of the USAID, the majority of people won't hear what the actual agendas are that are being exposed. They're just going to continue to hear about how we need to restructure the government. But talking
Salakia, I want to get this before we hop into that, just to show, or just to add on to what everything he about to say, just to show the America really coming with this. Now, this was put out January 16th, 2025. This is from idtechwire.com. It says the White House executive order, keyword, since it's two keywords, executive order, White House executive order calls for digital ID and mobile driver's license adoption. Now, I'm gonna let this video play because he gonna explain it, right? But you see how they already been doing that. Think about it, Elder Taza Power. And again, because you've been in this world longer than I have. But nowadays, say if you get pulled over by a cop, who got a hard copy of the insurance now? Now people just pull a picture up.
Yeah.
Now cops don't really ask you for hard copies of IDs. You got a picture on your phone, that'll do, because we can scan it anyway. Everything is digital. They been doing that.
Now the cameras they got now, they say they know everything. You see inside your cab, not on the police cars, but the ones that's on the street that the police got access to. Yeah, they pretty much know everything about you by the time they pull you over.
I read just the first paragraph of this, and we could play that video and we can end it after that. That's all. That was really it. It says the White House has issued a sweeping executive order that includes measures to promote the adoption of digital ID solutions and mobile driver's license in the United States. And I love when these articles literally say the United States, because a lot of stuff we read is say the UK doing this, right? Or China implementing this, right? Or Russia doing this. We about to start seeing a lot of America about to start doing it now, because they're the last ones to take hold of the new system. It says in the United States, framed as part of a broader initiative, everybody doing it, to combat cybercrime and identity fraud. And that's another thing. I know y'all been out there seeing lately, it's been a lot of spam calls on y'all phone. Spam emails, if y'all work at a job with emails, your boss got to say don't open up this email. You know, a lot of spam stuff. Like the other day in a government building, China, I'm gonna pull it up so y'all see it, so y'all know I ain't just saying it. Trump sucking Elon Musk feet. So in a government building, so some Chinese hackers hacked American government buildings, and they had this video of Trump sucking Elon Musk's feet playing on all the TVs. The point is, things like this about to start happening. Things like this about to start happening a lot because they need a reason to say, see, we need to lock down more. Look, all the stuff. Look, your bank account could be hacked. Your private information could be hacked. You don't want it to be hacked, right? Let's go digital. We got a plan for that. See, Esau, he come with the problem, but he go back there with the solution.
Yep.
You know, but this would happen in government buildings. I believe it was New York, but in a lot of government buildings on one day at one time, you had this seat, like this is an example. And it says, long live the king. And it had Elon sitting back as the king and Trump sucking his toes. But the point is, little things like that about to start happening. And that's going to give America the excuse to say, see, don't y'all want to be protected? Y'all want this to happen to y'all, right? You don't want your private pictures, you know, to get out there, huh? You don't want nobody to hack your phone. Go ahead and go. Let's go digital. Sign up for the program. It says, framed as part of a broader initiative to combat cybercrime and identity fraud, the executive order emphasizes the importance of secure, privacy-preserving digital identity verification systems for access. For, keyword for, so you're going to have to go digital for this reason, for accessing public programs and services to get by in society. See?
Thinking about the digital ID and the digital ID connected to your bank account, connected to your social media account. These are things I've exposed many times over the year. And we have advocacy groups which are led by the big banks, which aren't really advocacy groups because they're the ones who are pulling the strings, who are calling on the Trump administration to speed up digital IDs. And
in other words, the World Economic Forum, people like that, Klaus Schwab, that's the advocacy groups.
Heard him mention Black Mirror, which is something and a show that I've exposed many times over the years because there's probably no show out there that reveals what the agendas are with technology and the horror that is to come with technology in the future, more so than Black Mirror does. Here's a clip of what the digital ID for anybody out there.
Nah, put that clip, brothers, go watch that. Go check that out. We ain't gonna play the clip because I don't want the copyrighted, but I'm gonna fast forward this. And this is it, Elder Tazapah. This is really all we had, you know.
Gonna censor
and I got
you.
one precept that Revelation 13 to show when it says he calls up all on how it's not just that he gonna kill you, physically kill you, but he gonna have you separated from society. You know, that's pretty much it.
With the digital ID, there's a bunch of things that make it important to have a digital ID, right? I've discussed this in the past. The border is a perfect example. The digital ID will be imperative for border security, which will make the sheeple want it more. That's all they'll need to hear. We'll be able to have a digital ID, which means you won't be able to cross without a digital ID. You'll get scanned. It'll get something that goes, you know, that could be right up on top of the wall, and we'll be able to scan. Hey, we'll be able to scan the human being's DNA, so we won't have to worry about whether or not they're crossing the border or not. And these people will cheer for it. All it takes is a few more psyops. It's been quiet over the last couple of months, but a few more psyops about the border, about some young college girl getting killed by somebody who came across the border illegally. That's all it takes to make these people want what Big Brother wants for them already. So the Better Identity Coalition.
In other words, what he's saying is that everything is set up. All he needs is an event to bring on a digital ID to have these people agree. And what he's saying is that Americans are so sottish, for the PG version, sottish, that all they need to hear is that if you get a digital ID, this is going to distinguish you from the immigrants. If you get this, we going to know you're an American citizen and just show it and you good. You know, as if this is a perk we have as being Americans and y'all immigrants don't got it. See the different ways Esau could come with it. Or he can start with the immigrants first. Y'all got to get this in order if y'all want to be a citizen. So it's many ways he can go about this, man.
Coalition, the BIC, has sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, okay, urging a new Trump administration to prioritize digital ID as a fundamental component of government efficiency and national security.
So, like, I got to play this back. It's DOGE responsibility to bring in the digital ID. Listen to him.
Girl getting killed by somebody who came across the border illegally. That's all it takes to make these people want what Big Brother wants for them already. So the Better Identity Coalition, the BIC, has sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, okay, urging a new Trump administration to prioritize digital ID as a fundamental component of government efficiency and national security. And you could read between the lines of where this is going. The coalition said identity fraud is not just a problem affecting government benefit programs, but is a broader national security issue that impacts multiple industries and facilities, criminal activity on a global scale. They go on to say, BIC commended USDS's initial efforts to combat fraud in government benefits, but stressed that the issue extends far beyond that scope. Organized criminals in hostile nation states, including China and North Korea, have exploited weaknesses in digital identity infrastructure to steal billions of dollars, harming not just government agencies, but also financial institutions, healthcare providers, retailers, fintech firms, and cryptocurrency exchanges. These crimes do not only result in financial losses, they also fund human trafficking, drug smuggling, and even the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. They will use those things to tickle people's ears to get them on board with the digital ID. They will say that
you hear that? So they're going to use what he just said. They're going to use things as far as hackers, right? Your money being taken, your information being stolen, certain attacks, T attacks. They're going to use these different things to scare people and getting this signing on the digital system. You got it, Tazapar.
No, I'm just saying your children from being taken.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. I know he was about to play this video. But this is what I'll do. I'll put this video in the chat because all he was about to play this video on what a digital system would look like. Now, I know we played this video many times on a Thursday Live. And you know what? I'm going to put it in the chat, but I'm going to get a precept first real quick. If you don't mind, Tazapar?
Yeah, come.
I'm gonna get one quick one just to show the times we coming into it. If you don't get down with this digital system, not only will you might be thrown into a concentration camp or put to death, but ultimately you're gonna be separated from society. Things will be taken from you to where you won't be able to get by. And that's how he gonna cause you. So if you can't get by, if you don't have food, water, nobody messing with you, because if people in society, if they deal with you, then their score could go down because they talking to you. So you're going to be completely X'd out of society. You don't have no help, nowhere to go, no funds. So therefore, that's the example how he going to cause all. He going to X you out of society. So therefore, if you need things to survive, you're going to have to go to the government. This Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power, and that he is talking about the so-called white man by way of this beast system, starting with America. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, this is going into Esau. At the time we in, he planning on starting a NWO, a New World Order. And if you don't get down with his New World Order, it says, and as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't get down with this New World Order, it says you will be killed. Let's go into that word kill. Now, you can actually be put to death, right, by getting under a guillotine because you ain't take the C-hip, so on and so forth. But let's see what else to say. Let's go into that word kill. Right? So this is the root word of the word kill, which is the word is apocatino. But we're gonna go to the root word, right? Which is apo. Apo. So it's G575 apo for that word kill. If you don't get down with the NWO, you will be this right here. Separation. You're gonna be separated from society. It says of local separation, right? In your county, your city, your state. It says after verbs of motion from a place, departing or fleeing. Separation from the whole part, from the rest of society, you're gonna be X'd out. And that's what's coming, man. If you don't get down, take this C-hip, get with the digital system, you will be X'd out of society.
Yep.
It says of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. You ain't gonna better talk to nobody. Because if somebody talking to you and you got a bad credit score, again, go watch that episode of Black Mirror. Season 3 is called Nosedive. If people associating with you and you got a bad credit score,
they still go down.
It's gonna hit on yours too. So therefore, Esau ain't just gonna cut you out of society, but people not gonna want to deal with you or help you either. right? It says physical distance, place, or time, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that again. There's Revelation 13 and verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed or separated, X'd out of society. And he calls of all, this how he gonna cause you. He gonna cut you out, and you're gonna have to depend on the government. And this is why the comfort come with us trusting in a higher power. We don't have to go to no government. It says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, which is the charagma. No, it's charagma, right? Which is the RFID C-HIP, micro C-HIP. So you ain't gonna better buy or sell or get by in society. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save unless he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You get that digital grain of rice in you, and you bow down to this digital system. Elder Tazapah, did you have anything? If not, I'll play this last little 3-minute video, and we can end it on that.
Yeah, I just say what the guy was talking about in the video. I've said from day one that Doge was about setting up this digital infrastructure of government. And don't be fooled about this U.S. aid and all of this money, because this is what they do. Just like I said with Trump and these executive orders, where did them orders come from? You know, how is Musk, you know, this guy out of nowhere, as far as being in government? Yeah, we know him from Tesla, all this shit. But how can he come in government and find unfindable money? How is he able to do that? So don't be scammed by any of this. It's all a plot and a ploy, again, to get you set up for the okie doke, the UBI. Because they talking about the $5 grand now. Maybe we should give the people $5,000. So yeah, because the problem, reaction, solution. But yeah, I had seen an article, and the headline said that Doge finds untraceable money. And it just got me to thinking, man, you know, it takes months, sometimes years, to discover. When Esau had money, he know how to hide money. Shell companies and all of this. And it take a while to trace money down sometimes. And sometimes you can get lucky and you'll find one, but for them just to be this consistent, oh, we found this money over here, like it's Easter, oh, there's some more money over there. They just finding this money, and people just, oh yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing if it was done in a genuine fashion. If it was really for the people, yeah, it's a good thing in theory. But this is being used, you know, to, again, for the setup. And the people here, a lot of the citizens of, you know, in the U.S., you know, now they all for Trump. Some people that wasn't even for Trump, now they're for Trump. You know, and then there was some people that was for Trump that ain't for Trump. But when they start issuing out this money, watch Trump's ratings go through the roof. So they gonna come with this money. So they got to do the reset. Which don't think you're gonna get some cash or a check. No, it's gonna be credits. You'll be accounted credits. However it look like. Carbon credits, however they decide they're gonna do it. But yeah, they playing y'all like a fiddle. And it's time to wake up, see what's going on. But yeah, you got it out. You play that video. That's all I had.
We can end it on this then. So this is a glimpse, and we played this about, I say, a good 5, maybe more times on this Thursday Live. But again, it's always good to bring up just to show, because what the government leader saying, that China is the model for the rest of the world. So this is what's going on in China right now, and this is what's about to happen soon in America. Are they trying to push for it? Digital IDs, so on and so forth. This is the lifestyle it will be. It says the title is China ranks, so they give a ranking, good and bad citizens with a social credit score, which is a perfect example of when you watch that episode of Black Mirror. See, Black Mirror, go watch the episode of Black Mirror season 3. It's called Nosedive, which that's a TV show. Then come back and watch this video. It's the same exact thing in this real life.
They making reference to it?
They didn't make reference to it, but it's exactly what it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
It's literally advertising applies exactly what it is. But
Okay.
Black Mirror is, is a TV show, but this is real life. But technically, this is that episode of Nosedive. Everything you do, it could be either lower your score or heighten your score, and that depends on how you get by in society.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it. And anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020.
America's not about to have a choice either.
It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb: their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wen Wang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wen Wang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiao Wen Wang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library is free for me, thanks to my...
Now see this Xiao Wen, Xiao Wen, right? Now this is giving the side of a good citizen. If you do everything right, it says she's scared to jaywalk. She doing everything right, so now she could get a discount on riding a bus. Now I was gonna go into those who don't follow the rules. Let's see what that life is like for them.
My school.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a
In
matter.
other words, I'm gonna play it back, but in other words, what that mean? Revelation 13, you're gonna be X'd out of society, separated. Everybody, your information will be put up. You're not a good citizen. People gonna want to separate from you.
And the library is free for me, thanks to my school.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
In other words, he's Apo, separated from society.
Liu Hu is among a tiny minority of people who have dared to criticize the system, which some are calling a digital dictatorship.
I worry because I think many people like me will be deprived of individual freedoms.
That's pretty much it. But you see, just speaking some against the government could clearly X you out of society in a digital system. If you're talking too much about yourself and your money, you could lower your score. Be a good boy and bow down, and you might be all right. That's the times we're coming in. You know, like other times Pop said, indirectly said it, but it's high time to wake out of sleep, man. You see?
Definitely.
High time. It's clear we at Alizar. Ain't no 1,000 years. Now, I know what you tried to say, but you ain't said though. We right here, man. We right here at the door. This can happen any day now. But that's it, Elder Tazapah. That's all I had. You know, you take us out with whatever you got.
That's it. Yeah, you close it out.
Hey, well, Lord willing, you know, this lesson, you know, this information was edifying. Hey, the water for tuning into you, Akim out there, Akwath out there. Again, times are close, so you know, keep our eyes open. You know, continue to pay attention to this edification that's going out from the top on down. But with that, we'll end it. And Lord willing, this lesson, you know, again, was edifying and accepted. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem HaKadosh, and double honors unto the apostles, and that was a great millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you out there who pushing his word, and as well as all you believers out there who believe on the gospel. And with that, keep fighting, keep pushing. We're almost out of here. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.